Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So, honestly, it's about time we had a look at a couple of new Pokemon V. And I know we don't usually combine two unrelated Pokemon V into one video, though they're not entirely unrelated. We'll get there in a moment. But considering I looked at the news today and I was like, hey, 11 videos over 3 days, I think we can probably combine them just this once. So what we've got today is a new Rillaboom V, and a new Cinderace V. And some of you might be looking at this like I was going, hang on a second, Wassy? What about Inteleon V? What I can tell you is this. These are the box toppers over in Japan for this set. Now remember, in Japan this is actually being split into two sets. We have got Ichigeki, which is your single strike set, and Rengeki, which is your Rapid Strike set. And if you buy a box of Ichigeki, you get yourself a promo Cinderace, and if you buy yourself a box of Rengeki, you get yourself a promo Rillaboom. They are box toppers for the individual sets. And like I told you previously, essentially what you get is an exchange ticket as well, which are going to give you, if you buy 10 packs of Sword and Shield 5A in Japan, a Cinderace and Rillaboom V Max, which are going to be the Gigantamax versions, not the ones we've already seen. It really is a very cool thing we're doing here. So anyway, going over to the cards then, what do we see? Well, we'll start off with Rillaboom. I can't get away from Rillaboom. I'm going to stop trying. We've got 220 HP, which is high, but not phenomenally so. It's all right. We've got ourselves a retreat cost of 2, which does mean you get free retreat with Air Balloon, which is rather nice. We've got the expected weakness to fire, which with your fire decks of like Reshiram and Charizard, and then your Centiskorch V Max, it is, shall we say, less than ideal. And you're a grass deck, so you are hitting weakness against some things, probably here and there. Nothing much, if I'm honest with you. And we've lost a lot of our good tricks like Netball, but we do still have Rillaboom to go and accelerate a bunch of energy. So, you know, that's quite nice. And I suppose at this stage we should put this side by side with the other Rillaboom V just for a moment. And we can have a look here and see that you've got the same amount of HP, same weakness, but one retreat cost less. Yay! We'll see if this matters in the long run. So we've got two attacks here. The first attack for free energy does 60 damage, and you heal 30 from this Pokemon. It is very important to note, however, that this is a Rapid Strike Pokemon, so all the advantages you would generally get from Rapid Strike Pokemon will absolutely work here. And I'm largely thinking here of the Rapid Strike Energy, which will of course provide 2 fighting / water energy when attached to a Rapid Strike Pokemon. And you might be looking at this and going, but Wassy, come on. It doesn't have any water or fighting energy in the attack cost, and you'd be right. But also worth pointing out that there's 2 colorless energy in the attack cost, so that works rather nicely here as well. And then of course you can use something like Turbo Patch to get that third energy on there, and you are off and rolling without even necessarily needing something like Rillaboom. And this is going to be a running thing, right? As we go through, and there's a reason I had a look at these special energy cards so early on in this set, it is going to be a running deal here that every time I talk to you about these Rapid Strike Pokemon, I'm going to go, oh yeah, don't forget about Rapid Strike Energy. Because the fact is, it's a double energy. For Rapid Strike Pokemon, it's nuts. And the attack cost here is crucial. 1 grass, 2 colorless energy. So Rapid Strike Energy plus 1 more, you're off and rolling. But you're not doing very much. Like 60 damage is fine. It's alright. But even against your little Pokemon, your evolving basics, your support Pokemon, etc. I mean, Jirachi's got 70, so isn't being KO'd by this. And Galarian Zigzagoon has got 70. Although it does have a weakness, or at least you'll get them if they're weak. But you can't rely on them all being weak. There's too many Pokemon out there. You know, 60 HP used to be that magic number for evolving basics and support Pokemon. It's not that magic number anymore, and this is a little bit of a problem. So, yeah. Hey-ho. As for the healing 30, I mean, it's grass. Grass Pokemon heal, that's lovely. But I can't help but look at this and go, well, actually, you know what? It's healing 30. It's not that much. I mean, it's better than nothing. It's better than not healing 30, I suppose. But it's really not something about which I'm going to be getting terribly excited. If we go pre-rotation and I've got Life Forest Prison Star to heal 60 per turn, and I've got Shaman to heal 20 but can stack, and then I'm healing 30 as well, and I'm healing like 130 a turn, yes! Just a random heal 30, I suspect, is not going to end up being enough. As for the second attack, 4 energy, 160 damage. It's fine, but it's not particularly good. I mean, is this really the best we can do? And maybe the answer is yes, maybe this is the best we can do. Maybe I'm expecting just a little bit too much. But honestly here, it just seems like we should be able to do better, and we're frankly not. 160, there's got to be a better way here, right? 164 energy, and I know that we've got Rillaboom, and I know that we've got Rapid Strike energy, and the pair of them alone will let you hit 160. And I suppose then if you're hitting for weakness, yeah, but you're not hitting much for weakness. The really good, relevant Darkness Pokemon is Eternatus, but even though it's a Darkness Pokemon, because it's poison, it comes through with fighting weakness, which I've been exploiting because I love my fighting Pokemon. But my point here is, it's just not proven to be a good enough type to be hitting. And like 160 will get Dedenne, but it won't get Crobat. So I end up looking at this and going, it's just not great. Now, it can evolve into Rillaboom V Max, so we should at least do it the decency of comparing it side by side with the other Rillaboom V. But the other Rillaboom V for 4 energy does 220 damage. Now, admittedly, it cannot use Rapid Strike energy, and admittedly, it has to do 30 damage to itself. But it's also got an attack which searches for 2 basic grass Pokemon and puts them onto your bench, which is, you know, for a single energy, it's really good in the early game if you're just struggling to set up. And essentially, I look at this and I go, it's not as good as the one from Rebel Clash. I love that it works with Rapid Strike energy, and that might be enough to cover it. But outside of that, I just prefer the one from Rebel Clash. But how about the Cinderace? Well, Cinderace comes through with 210 HP, which is, of course, just that little bit lower. We've got a retreat cost here of 2, so again, we got the whole air balloon thing going on, and a weakness to water, which is honestly kind of alright at the moment. Frostmoth decks have not been taking off as much as we might have hoped, so at the moment, it's not a bad weakness to have at all. And you're a fire Pokemon, so that gives you access to Welder to accelerate energy, and Giant Half to get your energy out, and you're hitting weakness against metal Pokemon like Zacian V as well as grass Pokemon, so it's a nice typing to be right now. Is it any good? Well, the first attack, 2 colorless energy, 50 damage. What? No! I don't like this at all. Like, not even a little bit. 50 damage isn't enough. I mean, I just came from telling you that 60 damage wasn't enough. Now you're hitting me with 50 damage? And look, I know that, as you know, we were talking about these special energies, I know I showed you single strike energy. And again, this is one that's going to end up being mentioned with a vast majority of single strike Pokemon. It does an extra 20 damage. It is very much the new strong energy. And it works for a lot of fighting Pokemon too. It works as either a fighting or darkness energy, not fire, but that doesn't really matter because this is all colorless energy anyway, so you're fine. But the thing here is that I would have to welder on an energy at least, and then attach this, and I'd still only be doing 70. Now, to be fair, 70 is enough to get stuff like Jirachi and Zigzagoon, though again, Jirachi does have weakness here, so you'd get Jirachi even if you didn't have the single strike energy. And this will get the majority of evolving Pokemon. This is a turn 1 going second, KO the majority of Pokemon, which is nice. I mean, by Pokemon, sorry, let's be clear. I mean the majority of evolving Pokemon, these little support Pokemon. So in that way, I suppose it probably is better than Rillaboom. It's just asking a lot to do it. It's asking you to have one of these special energy and a welder with at least one more energy, and then use your welder as the energy for the turn. And maybe you're setting up for big attacks later, but it makes me a little bit nervous. As for the second attack here, 4 energy, 210 damage. This Pokemon cannot attack during your next turn. And I'll give you this, 210 damage is a lot. And you'll notice, and they did this with Rillaboom as well, there's lots of colourless energy in the attack cost here, because your special single strike energy is fighting darkness, and this is a fire Pokemon. So, you know, you got 6 energy cost between your 2 attacks there, and one of them is actually fire, which is kind of lovely. It makes life an awful lot easier. Yay, etc. So, it's payable, but again, you're talking 4 energy. So if I welder, and I use my attachment for the turn as a single strike energy, I'm still 1 energy short of doing this. And don't get me wrong, it's a really nice attack in terms of hitting for weakness against multiple typings, metal and fire. And 210 won't get all Pokemon V, but it will get a bunch of them. Something like an Eternatus V will go down here rather nicely indeed, so that's kinda cool. And, you know, Centiskorch V will go down here, unless they've got any Heat Fire energy. Incidentally, don't forget that as a fire Pokemon, you can use Heat Fire energy to get a bit of extra HP, so that could be fun. And I like this, but it's just expensive. I mean, if we put this side by side with the other Cinderace V, stats-wise, you're looking basically the same, 210 HP, 2 retreat cost, and water, weakness, and all of that. But the other one has free retreat if there's a stadium in play, and for free energy does 140. And the free energy is huge, because it means if you go second, you can welder, attach for turn, 140 damage, which will KO a Zacian, or KO a Zamazenta, etc. And that's big. I don't like the 4 energy, because it doesn't give me a turn 1 attack going second. Okay, it does with stuff like Turbo Patch, but whereas you might want to play that with some of these Rapid Strike Pokemon because of Rapid Strike energy, free energy attacks, etc., I don't think it's something we're really going to be looking at for the Single Strike Pokemon. So it just strikes me as a little too expensive. Once again, you can use this to evolve into a Cinderace V Max, but if I want to play a Cinderace V Max deck, I want to be playing the one from Rebel Clash. I want to be playing the one we've already got. I want to have free retreat if there's a stadium in play. I want an attack that, okay, might do 70 less damage, but at least I can use it turn 1 going second, because honestly, if I'm playing a V Max deck, I want to get the V Max out nice and early, ideally turn 2, so I'm just going to want 1 attack turn 1, especially going second, and the Cinderace we've got already does that. So I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, as cool as both of these Pokemon are, and they are, I honestly don't see how we can really justify playing them over the ones we've already got. I think they're both cool. I'm fans of both of them. But I don't think I'm actually going to play either of them. And that makes me a little bit sad on my inside, but unfortunately that's just the way we go at the moment. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, oh, let's give them both. I mean, I'm giving them both between 2 and 3 Wassies, because I just think they're weaker versions of what we've already got. They're not out and out garbage cards, they're fine. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. I just think we've already got better versions of these cards, and I'm sorry if that upsets you. But as always, I would very, very, very genuinely much like to know what you think about these, how good you think they are, etc. So, hey, there's a comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/TheWassie. patreon.com/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.